Hey, wait. You know those beautiful white sand beaches you see on vacation postcards? The ones that look like powdered sugar? Yeah. A fish pooped that. A fish pooped that. Welcome back, everybody. And today we are talking about one of the most jaw-dropping, stomach-turning, absolutely incredible animals in the entire ocean. The parrotfish. And trust me, by the end of this video, you will never look at a beach the same way again. Okay, so let's set the scene. You are snorkeling in a warm tropical ocean. The water is crystal clear. You see a fish that looks like someone let a toddler loose with a bucket of rainbow paint. Bright blue, hot pink, neon green, yellow. It is absolutely stunning. And then you hear it. This crunching, grinding, chomping sound. Like someone eating a giant bag of chips underwater. That is a parrotfish. And what it is chomping on is going to blow your mind. Coral. It is eating coral, hard, rocky, ancient coral reef with its teeth. And those teeth are not like your teeth. Oh no. Parrotfish teeth are actually fused together into one giant beak. Like a parrot. That is literally where the name comes from. And that beak is so strong, so powerful, that scientists have discovered it is one of the hardest biological materials ever found on Earth. Harder than most rocks. Harder than copper. Some researchers say the material in parrotfish teeth rivals the toughness of materials we use in bulletproof armour. A fish has armour teeth in its face, just casually munching through reef all day like it is no big deal. Now here is where it gets really interesting, because for a long time people thought parrotfish were basically destroying coral reefs. Like these beautiful colourful fish were just the villains of the ocean, chomping up precious coral and ruining everything. Scientists, tourists, even some fishermen would see parrotfish eating reef and think, oh no, bad fish, stop that. But they had it completely backwards. Completely. 100% wrong. And finding out the truth changed everything we thought we knew about how coral reefs survive. Here is the real deal. Parrotfish are not actually after the coral itself. The coral skeleton is kind of like the bread of a sandwich. What the parrotfish actually wants is the algae and tiny organisms called zooxanthellae living inside the coral. That is the good stuff. That is the meal. The parrotfish bites off chunks of coral, grinds it up in its digestive system, absorbs all the nutritious algae goodness, and then everything else, all that ground up coral rock, comes out the other end as the finest, whitest, most perfect sand you have ever seen in your life. One parrotfish can produce up to 200 pounds of sand every single year. 200 pounds. From one fish. There are places in Hawaii, in the Caribbean, in the Maldives, where almost all of the white sand on the beach came entirely from parrotfish doing their business. Some beaches are basically 100% parrotfish poop. You have been building sandcastles in fish poop. You have been lying in fish poop. You have been taking cute photos with fish poop. And honestly, once you know that, it is kind of amazing instead of gross. Kind of. But okay, the sand thing is just the beginning, because parrotfish do something even more important than making beaches, something that is keeping coral reefs alive right now as we speak. See, coral reefs have a big problem. Algae. Algae grows fast. Really fast. And if algae gets out of control, it covers the coral, blocks out the sunlight, and smothers the reef. The whole ecosystem collapses. Fish lose their home. Thousands of species disappear. The reef dies. This is actually happening in a lot of places around the world right now, and it is a massive crisis. But parrotfish eat that algae. Every single day they are out there like little underwater lawnmowers, chomping through algae-covered coral, keeping everything in balance. Studies have shown that reefs with healthy parrotfish populations are dramatically more likely to survive bleaching events and other disasters. One study in the Caribbean found that parrotfish were actually the single most important factor in whether a coral reef recovered after a big storm or a bleaching event. Not the water temperature, not the pollution levels, the fish. The pooping rainbow fish was the most important thing, and here is a fact that almost nobody knows. Parrotfish also help coral babies grow. When they scrape algae off rocks and dead coral surfaces, they accidentally create clean, bare rock. And that bare rock is exactly what baby coral needs to attach itself and start growing. So the parrotfish is not destroying the reef. It is literally gardening it. It is mowing the lawn, fertilizing the soil, and making new beds for plants to grow all at the same time, while also producing enough sand for an entire beach. This fish is an absolute superhero, and it barely gets any credit. Now let us talk about something truly bizarre, something that sounds completely made up, but is 100% real. Parrotfish sleep in a sleeping bag. Their own sleeping bag, made of their own snot. Every single night, some species of parrotfish produce this mucus bubble from glands near their gills, and they wrap their entire body in it like a little snot cocoon before they go to sleep. Scientists think this mucus might mask their smell so predators cannot find them in the dark. Other scientists think it acts as an early warning system, like if something tries to bite through the bubble, the parrotfish wakes up in time to escape. Either way, a fish tucks itself into a snot sleeping bag every single night. You thought your bedtime routine was weird. There is also a wild thing about parrotfish and gender. Many species of parrotfish can actually change their biological sex. They are born female, and some of them later transform into males. And when a male parrotfish transforms, it also completely changes colour. Like it gets a whole new paint job. The females are often duller brownish colours, and the transformed males are the ones with all those wild electric blues and greens and pinks. So the most colourful parrotfish you see, those are the ones that used to be female. They basically went through the most dramatic glow up in the animal kingdom. So why does any of this matter beyond being incredibly cool? Because right now, parrotfish are in serious trouble in a lot of places. People have been overfishing them for years, especially in the Caribbean. And in areas where parrotfish populations have dropped, the reefs have started to die. The algae takes over. The coral cannot breathe. The whole ecosystem starts falling apart. Scientists and conservation groups are working really hard to protect parrotfish. Now that we understand how important they are, some islands have made it illegal to catch them entirely because they finally realised that this one colourful, crunchy fish is basically holding the entire reef together. And here is the thing that really gets me. For so long we looked at parrotfish and we thought we understood what we were seeing. A fish eating coral. Bad. Stop it. But the real story was so much more complicated and so much more wonderful. The parrotfish was not the villain. It was the hero. It was maintaining entire ecosystems. It was building beaches. It was helping coral babies find a home. It was doing all of this incredible work, completely unnoticed for thousands of years, while people walked on its sand and took pictures of its reef, and had no idea who made any of it possible. That happens a lot in nature. Things that look destructive are actually essential. Things that seem simple are actually mind-blowingly complex. And that is exactly why learning about animals matters so much. Because every time you look closer, the world turns out to be more amazing than you thought. So let me leave you with this. Next time you're at a beach, pick up a handful of that soft white sand. Look at it. Really look at it. Millions of tiny grains, each one travelling through a parrotfish. Each one part of a story about reefs and algae and coral babies and snot sleeping bags and rainbow fish with armour teeth. That is not just sand. That is a whole entire world in your hand. Now I want to know, does knowing beaches are made of parrotfish poop make you think they are grosser or actually cooler? Drop your answer in the comments right now and let us see which side wins, because this one could get really fun. See you in the next one.